Welcome back to the Daily Roll-Up. This is the biggest sinkhole I have ever seen before. On September 24th of 2025, a giant sinkhole formed in Bangkok, Thailand that swallowed up sections of a 4-lane road that happened to be right next to a police station, resulting in the road completely buckling and collapsing in on itself in pretty dramatic fashion, sucking in electric poles, telephone poles, and breaking a bunch of underground pipes that sent a ton of water gushing into the sinkhole, filling it up with water. The sinkhole was roughly 50 meters deep and spanned about 900 square meters wide, exposing a bunch of underground structures and leaving 3 vehicles teetering on the edge or partially engulfed. Now, fortunately, there weren't any fatalities or injuries reported as a result of this sinkhole because officials evacuated everybody from the area as quickly as they could. Now, officials are also attributing the incident to nearby construction for an underground train station where shifting soil slid into the site, exacerbated by a burst pipe that severed water and power lines. Now, the event halted traffic in the area until they were able to get it sorted out and prompted immediate evacuations of personnel for safety because they wanted to make sure nobody fell into this damn thing. And a nearby hospital even temporarily suspended outpatient services for 2 days as a precaution, though its structure remained intact. Now, Bangkok's city governor oversaw the response with crews cutting off electricity and water supplies in order to prevent further hazards, and they're working urgently to stabilize the situation amid concerns over heavy rains that could potentially be coming due to monsoon season. Now, so far, there's still no ground movement in the area, and they're trying to fill it in with concrete, but they don't know if they're going to be able to do it in any less than 3 to 4 days. So a lot of people view this as some of the ongoing infrastructure challenges in Thailand, and they think that this kind of underscored some of the aging utilities and subsistence risks. So I'm sure by now you've probably seen Ukrainian and Russian soldiers taking out FPV drones plenty of times using shotguns because it's been a pretty effective method so far throughout the conflict. And then on September 24th of 2025, some more footage came out showing a Ukrainian soldier that likely recorded it with another GoPro on his helmet. Apparently the footage came out of the Veliki Prokody area in the Kharkiv region, and the Ukrainian soldier was allegedly returning from a combat mission and riding in the back of a pickup truck when he recorded an FPV drone coming at them very quickly. So he took action immediately, like an immediate action drill, and started immediately unloading shells at this thing, causing it to glide and crash into the tree line rather than detonating into the truck. In the footage, you can hear radio chatter yelling, "Go, go, go," like as in we got to get the hell out of here. And this just kind of fits into a broader pattern of Ukrainian troops using shotguns and Russian troops using shotguns in order to counter FPV drones since it's become such a massive threat in the region. All right, so I know a lot of the news out there is oftentimes negative, so I wanted to provide you guys with something that's a little bit more positive today. So just wanted to give you an update on retired Marine Staff Sergeant Andre Garcia de Alba, who in 2024 was diagnosed with a really aggressive autoimmune disorder that occurs in the kidneys called IgA neuropathy, which nobody really knows how it was triggered, but essentially what it did was it disabled his kidneys so badly that he was medically retired from the Marine Corps. He no longer could serve, and he was waiting to get a kidney replacement for a long time. By February 2025, his kidney function had dropped so badly that he was on dialysis, and like you're not going to be able to continue the rest of your life. It's going to significantly reduce your lifespan. But here's where things changed. One of his junior Marines named Corey had decided that he wanted to help him after he had gotten out, and he found out he got testing done, and then Corey was a perfect match. And without hesitation, Corey decided, I'm going to donate one of my kidneys to you so that you can live and like enjoy your life and have a life. Now, we had posted a video about this not too long ago because I didn't know that they had found a match. I didn't know that they had any volunteers that could donate their kidneys. And so I was trying to help raise awareness about that. But his sister let me know that they had found a match, and not too long ago that they were going to be getting the surgery completed. And on Tuesday, September 23rd, Andre had his surgery when both him and the donor went under anesthesia to get one of the kidneys transferred from his junior Marine to him. According to Kiana, his sister, both him and the donor are doing well, and the kidney is working. Thank you again for helping spread awareness and helping us get that fundraiser together. Love what you do with your channel, and I hope one of those other people interested in donating helps another person out. My family is extremely grateful to you and everyone who's helped. This is not because of me. This is all because of you guys. This is because of the work that you guys did spreading the message. Now, in addition to needing a new kidney, his costs for staying out there, for food, for transportation, for airfare, all that stuff needed to be covered too, because he was no longer employed with the Marine Corps when he was medically separated. And through the help of Hunter 7 Foundation, which if you haven't checked Hunter 7 Foundation out, you guys need to, we were able to raise $10,000 to help pay for all of the expenses that were going to be incurred as a result of the cost of food, lodging, airfare, and all that stuff, and transportation. So that was all because of you guys and you guys sharing the message. So I want to thank all of you out there who donated to help Andre get this procedure done, and everybody out there who is willing to sacrifice one of their kidneys to save this young Marine's life. So I appreciate everything that you guys do, and the family is grateful for what you've done. And I know Andre is going to be able to have a much better life now that he's got a kidney replacement. And this is what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about. Taking care of each other, lifting each other up, helping each other out when we're down. And I would encourage all of you out there to do the same thing. There's enough of us in this community tearing each other down and making each other's lives worse. So be the difference out there. Be that shining light that makes life better for other people and improves upon other people's lives. Because we need more of that. We need more people that are out there willing to do anything they can to help out each other in the community, because nobody cares more about us than us. So again, thank you all for all the help. Thank you guys for everything that you do to support these types of situations and to take care of people and to take care of each other, because without you and the community, we wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff. So thank you. And I know that Andre's family is grateful as well. All right, so we need to talk about the 2025 Dallas ice shooter situation with the sniper and stuff like that, because this is a little strange. So on September 24th of 2025, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Field Office in Dallas in the Love Field neighborhood of Dallas, Texas, was a target of a sniper attack. Now, the incident resulted in one death because they messed up the first time, said there's two. Only one person died, and it was actually just one detainee that died because the sniper accidentally shot a detainee and not an ICE officer, which I'm pretty sure he was trying to target the ICE officer based on the fact that he had engraved anti-ICE on the side of his bullet casings. But we'll get to that in a second. So anyway, the gunman's name was Joshua John, and he ended up taking his own life, which I'm not going to show you that picture. If you want to see it, you can see it on Twitter, which is like the Wild West. It's been classified by federal authorities as a murder sewer slide motivated by apparent anti-ICE sentiment and heightened national tensions over immigration enforcement under the current administration. Now, the attack drew immediate polarized reactions from everybody, because you've got people that are pro-immigration and you've got people that are against what ICE is doing. And then you've got people that are for what ICE is doing and are supportive of what they're doing. So obviously it's creating a lot of inflammatory political rhetoric on both sides. Is what it is. At the end of the day, the dude shot at law enforcement agents, ended up killing a detainee, which is kind of ironic considering he was probably trying to shoot ICE agents. But here's a kind of a brief summary of some of the stuff that took place. So at around 6:30 p.m. on August 2025, there was a bomb threat at the facility, but nothing actually happened. Then at 6:40 a.m., Joshua John positioned himself on a nearby rooftop and began firing a rifle indiscriminately at the ICE building, including 6 to 10 rounds into a transport van in the Sally Port, and detainees inside the van were struck. Now, John immediately afterwards inflicts a self-inflicted gunshot wound and dies at the scene. Now, about 6:45 a.m., Dallas police received reports of gunfire. Dozens of units and ambulances responded, and then a shelter in place is issued. At approximately 7 to 8 a.m., initial reports confirmed that 3 detainees were shot, 1 was pronounced dead at the scene, and 2 others were transported to hospitals in critical condition. Now, that afternoon, the FBI took the lead on the investigation, and they found anti-ICE markings on unfired ammunition that was discovered at the scene. In that evening, DHS issues a statement saying that the Mexican consulate identified 1 victim as a national and they requested access. Now, the deceased detainee has still been unnamed at this time. Don't know who it is. The two that were injured are in critical but stable condition as of September 25th. One is a Mexican national whose name has been withheld for privacy. And then the Mexican Foreign Ministry confirmed the injury and expressed concern, requesting consular access and protection via diplomatic channels. All of the victims were immigration detainees, and specific details on ages, nationalities, and things like that have not been released pending family notification. Now, the suspect, Joshua John, was 29 years old and was identified as the lone gunman by sources familiar with the investigation. Apparently, he acted alone, and he used a high-powered rifle from an elevated position approximately 100 to 200 yards away from the facility. Now, he was born and raised in a Dallas suburb, apparently resided with his parents, originally from Kansas, in a rural area north of Dallas and Fort Worth, and was described by his family as non-political. He had a minor record. He was apparently arrested in 2015 for marijuana possession. Like, he was indicted in 2016 for selling marijuana, although the case was dismissed after court supervision. Didn't have any violent offenses. He was a registered independent voter. Voted in the March 2020 Texas Democratic presidential primary and the November 2024 general election in Oklahoma, and no evidence would point to anti-ICE activism. Now, apparently, two Reddit users out there focused on apolitical topics, video games, cars, South Park, and marijuana advocacy, and no posts indicated any type of radicalization. Now, John's brother told media that he showed no political interest or anti-ICE sentiment as well, and that his mother, Sharon Jan, was photographed sobbing outside the family home amid questions about possible radicalization. Now, the DHS Secretary Kristi Noem came out and said, quote, "This vile attack was motivated by hatred for ICE, comparing ICE day in and day out to the Nazi Gestapo has consequences," end quote. The FBI is, currently probing potential online radicalization, but there's no manifesto or further motives that have been discovered as of yet. And the FBI is treating it as domestic terrorism. Now, so far, the Trump administration, including President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, have condemned the attacks on ICE, saying that they're unacceptable. And then a bunch of MAGA influencers have come out blaming leftist violence. Democrats denounced the violence, including the DNC chair, Ken Martin, denouncing it unequivocally. Also, the Dallas Mayor, Eric Johnson, urged caution on motive assumptions to avoid politicization. Now, the only thing that's weird about this to me is, like, who would write anti-ICE on the side of their bullets? Like, I just don't understand that. Why would they want there to be that message on the side? That almost seems like, I don't know, this seems weird. It would make more sense for them to write something else on there, or just not write anything at all and just do the act. I don't know. They haven't found a manifesto. They haven't got any type of, he didn't seem radicalized online, so I'm just, like, curious what's going on. I don't know. The whole thing is very odd. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, they did find the shell casings that said anti-ICE on the side, so you can interpret that however you want. I don't really know how to feel about that, honestly, because that's just odd. Like, why would you write that on there? Do you think somebody that was really anti-ICE would write anti-ICE on the shell casing? I don't know. The whole thing seems really weird to me. But anyway, that's what happened. Those are the facts. That's what actually happened. So you can make your own decision how you feel about it. And, we'll see what happens. And if anything else comes out about it, I'll keep you updated. So I can't believe I'm reporting on this, but here we go. On September 24th of 2025, President Donald Trump unveiled a new installation called the, quote, Presidential Walk of Fame, end quote, which is along a prominent walkway outside the West Wing of the White House. Now, this display is featuring a bunch of, gilded frame portraits of U.S. presidents, like all of U.S. presidents, serving as a visual tribute to the nation's executive history. However, the portrait for former President Joe Biden is the only one that's different. Instead of a traditional image, it's a printed photo of an auto pen, which is a mechanical device used to replicate signatures, complete with the former president's reproduced signature. Now, President Trump has long claimed that President Biden relied heavily upon an auto pen for signing important documents, including pardons and legislation, framing it as evidence of former President Biden's diminished capacity during his term. Now, the move has widely been interpreted as a pointed troll at the former president, breaking from the White House's usual tradition of presidential portraits. A White House official described the exhibit as inclusive of all presidents, but the Biden substitution has sparked some backlash and amusement across political lines because some people find it funny and some people think that it's disrespectful, but obviously you can make that decision however you want to feel about it. I'm just saying, hey, this is something that's happening like I normally do, right? Some Trump supporters have hailed it as a epic level trolling, and some people have said that it's just ridiculous or whatever, right? Now, there have been a lot of people that think that the former president's staff was using an auto pen to sign a lot of things, including a lot of the pardons that took place last minute during the former administration. Although, you know, you'll want to do some research on that because I haven't dug deep enough into it to determine exactly which ones had auto pens used for them and which ones haven't. So that's more on you to do some research on your own for that. This event that's about to take place may be the largest gathering of generals that's ever gotten together in U.S. history. Apparently on September 25th of 2025, the U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth issued a order summoning hundreds of senior military officers, including generals and admirals from the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, and Space Force for a closed-door meeting at Marine Corps Base Quantico in Virginia. Apparently, the meeting is supposed to be scheduled for Tuesday, September 30th of 2025, and it applies to all officers that are the rank of Brigadier General or higher, and all of their top senior enlisted advisors as well. Estimates of attendees are varying currently, but some reports are citing that there could be nearly up to 800 participants, including staff, even though senior leaders appear to be somewhat unaware of the full scope or purpose of this thing. Even officers that are currently in active conflict zones are expected to attend this meeting, which makes me think that something urgent is happening. Now, the Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell confirmed the event, stating that, quote, the Secretary of War will be addressing his senior military leaders early next week, end quote, but provided no further details on the agenda. Now, something I think is very interesting is that a very senior Pentagon correspondent with 30 plus years of experience described it as an unprecedented event in their career, saying, quote, I've never seen anything like this. We might be going to war, end quote. Now, the lack of stated agenda has fueled further speculation and unease from a lot of people, with one anonymous source telling the Washington Post that, quote, people are very concerned. They have no idea what it means, end quote. Now, from what folks have said, the last time this many senior officers and leaders got together was during the Goldwater-Nichols Act of 1986, which totally restructured the entire military command. But nobody's saying anything about what's actually going to be discussed yet. So believe me, when I find out, I will keep you guys updated because this is huge. All right, so that's it for the daily roll-up for today. I appreciate you guys watching until now. If you've watched the video up until this point, that means you are actually helping support the channel, whether you believe it or not, because watching it all the way through and the retention actually does help boost it in the algorithm, just like liking the video or putting a comment in the comment section. So please let us know what you thought about this video in the comments below, and we will see you in the next video.